Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind Germany Season 2, Episode 10, The Reunion. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. We're going to start with Gunnar and Josie. At first they're sitting apart to kind of throw off the scent, but they are indeed still together. I also noticed that she had her ring on the right hand and he had his on the left. So I was like, is that how it is in Germany? I never knew that. Yeah, so that was interesting. Josie says that teasing is still very much one of her love languages, and over time, Gunnar has become more bold himself, so he does reciprocate that. During their first year of marriage, they moved in together, which a handful of Love is Blind couples actually don't do that, so it is to be noted that they did move in together. They gained some happy weight. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And she says that his love continues to heal her in ways that she just never would have thought. He says that she is not as broken as she believes. And it's just so nice to see them in this way, you know? Like the progression for Josie was a real one. And it's similar to that couple, I'm pretty sure it was Germany as well, where the girl wasn't quite sure about the guy, the darker skinned guy, but she genuinely grew to love the man. Now, I'm not sure if they still together because they were not living together by the end of the season. But the point is, love can really grow. And between Josie and Gunnar, love did grow. Gunnar says that he didn't want to get anyone's hopes up regarding the whole having kids situation. So he just wanted to be firm with whoever he's dating, just so that if he still remains in the mindset that he does not have kids, they are not disappointed. However, in being with Josie, this has become more of a conversation he is open to. And he says, you know what, 5 years down the line, our minds might change, but at least we know we made that decision, having resolved the feelings of if we do not have kids, we will be fine. The next couple is Yasmin and Andy, and they point out that Yasmin was looking for security. She made that clear in the pause, and that did play out throughout the season. Then the male host says something that I'm so sorry, it irked me. It really did irk me. He was like, well, one could argue that saying yes at the altar would mean saying yes to security. Like being married offers you security. No. You know how many single people, you know how many married people out here are essentially single and would be better off single? The security that I had within our relationship was present from way before we made the decision to get married. So if she wasn't feeling secure, saying yes at the altar was not going to change that. And to clarify, I mean security outside of like government provisions or dual income, like stuff like that. If you do not feel safe and secure with the person that you're with, saying yes at the altar is not going to guarantee that that will change. Anyways, Yasmin said that she ultimately decided to leave the relationship because she saw great potential for them to be at odds, and I absolutely agree with that. This man did seem like he was holding up a facade while on the show, and so once the veil is removed, I'm sure they would have been quarreling day in and day out, and that turned out to be the case. So after their ceremony, they did have a conversation where they said that their hearts say yes. They could not say yes at the altar to legally be married, but they are saying yes to still wanting to be together. Problem is, as soon as them cameras turned off, Andy turned into a whole different person. He did not check for this girl. He went to the after party without her. Like, he was just very dismissive. And so they were kind of in this limbo, and she was starting to decide that she didn't want to be with somebody who wasn't going to consider her. She decided to cut him off, and she completely ghosted him. Andy is acting like he is just so hurt and offended at the fact that he was ghosted. And he's saying, she was the one who blew up on me. She was the one who wasn't taking accountability for certain things. You. And Yasmin is like, and that's his problem. He always likes to make it seem like I am the one who's always in the wrong and he had no part to play in this. And that's what was happening on the season. That lack of accountability is showing up yet again. And I'm even more convinced now that he gets that trait from his mama. For a second, I thought that maybe there was a language barrier when he had said, oh, I understand that you're sensitive and you need attention. Oh my gosh. But the room's reactions proved to me that no, what he said was actually distasteful. Then you have Gunnar who chimes in and he says, don't tell this woman how she's supposed to feel about something, in response to Andy saying that he doesn't understand why she feels neglected. He didn't give her any reason to feel that way. Her feelings are her feelings. Whether you agree with them or not, her feelings are her feelings. So yeah, these two, she says she noticed a pattern of this man constantly deflecting. I wish she noticed that from the pods, but it's okay. At least she figured it out. The female host then says something else that just, oh my gosh. She's like, you know what? There's nobody to blame here on why things went wrong. There's nobody to blame. I would rather you blame somebody. You could even blame the both of them. But to say there's nobody to blame, girl, then why did it break up? Come on. So then they show them their best bits, and I'm so sorry. This would have boiled my blood. If I just came out of a messy relationship, I don't care if it was a year ago. I don't need you showing me our best highlights. Save it. And here you have Yasmin crying, which is a testament of how real this was for her. But like, yeah, I don't know what the point of that was, but all right. Loanne and Jan are sitting next to each other, and they're sitting very cozy. So you're thinking, did they not? Like, what's the deal here? They are very much so just friends. Jan realized that you can find different kinds of love. Sometimes it's not that romantic love that is like the love of your life. You can find love in a best friend that is just as fulfilling. Well, that's what he started off saying. He ended up saying something different, but that's what he started off saying. So basically we see that through the last year, they have been the best of friends. They have this running joke that like, oh, you're my favorite ex-fiance. And, you know, they really do look like they have formed a proper friendship. At the beginning of the episode, when everybody was talking about like their takeaways from the show, Jan does say he realized that what he was requiring from people, he was not in a place to give to said people. And I'm so glad that he said that, because that's what I was saying throughout this whole season. I was like, you're requiring things that you are not in a position to provide. And I don't think that's fair, because the same complex you're walking into these relationships with, you're now giving to the person who you're supposed to be relating with. And just to make things clear, I don't think that he needed to be at the height of emotional availability in order to be in a relationship. But at least if he was making an attempt to work on the things that he saw was a deficit in his own relationships, then I would have more grace. But because he was asking for something that he wasn't trying to strengthen within himself, it was very frustrating for me to watch, which is why I felt like he still had some redeeming qualities. He just needed to sort out some things, maybe in therapy or maybe with some more self-discovery. Like that's just not fair. So the hosts asked what they both took away from dating. Loanne said she realized that true love can be found, that her person does exist, simply because she found somebody like Jan. So if somebody like Jan could be there and they end up being the best of friends, how much more could be out there regarding the love of your life? So she's a lot more optimistic when it comes to dating. Jan learned that the love that he was requiring from a woman, he actually found that love in a man. Now, I did not suspect that he was gay, but I did question at one point, okay, so is it asexuality or something? Because you're telling me every single time you're with a woman, it turns into friendship, and now you find somebody who seems to be your spec, and you just can't get past that thing, whatever that thing was. So I was like, maybe he's aromantic or asexual. Maybe it's just not in there for him. But for him to say, I think I was just so tied to a gender that I didn't realize I could find love just in a man, I was like, there's the aha moment. That makes sense to me. So everybody's proud of him. Constantine is especially proud because Jan is like his little brother, and he has seen the journey. He has seen the evolution. They're all confirming that Jan did come for genuine reasons. I do believe that he did too. Like in the process, he did try a hell of a lot more than Jubel, and Jubel is gonna stay catching that stray. Like he did try. It wasn't there. He wasn't in that space yet. And so for him to discover himself through this process, that is good for him. I wouldn't be surprised if there were more people who were actually in a similar position as him. They just didn't want to say that. And he says he plans to be the voice for people who feel like they are not yet ready to come out. Wendy and Jubel are next. You could see that for Wendy, it still is a little bit of a sore subject. She didn't cry or anything, but oftentimes Josie would go and hold her hand. So I think seeing Jubel is triggering, and hell, it would trigger me too, okay? So she says in the pods, the highs were truly high. It's just when they got out of the pods, everything just plummeted because this man was not invested. And everybody is able to see that. Everybody is like, what Wendy would have wanted is to actually hear you say the words, it's just not there for me. And she's like, I would have respected him for that. But now I have to infer, and that's not fair because I might be reading into the wrong things, or, you know, I might be projecting my own insecurities. It should have been up to him to be able to open up and say, this is where I'm at. So then I can then move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? She says that in front of cameras, he would treat her like a queen, but once the cameras would turn off, he would treat her like a bro. Didn't I suspect this man was lying in the pods when he was like, yeah, I treat my woman like a princess and I love the romance and I love whatever. It sounded like malarkey. It sounded like, I know that these lines work. I know that this sounds good. So let me just say it for the sake of saying it. And mind you, he said it to Wendy. It's not like he said it to somebody else. He said it to Wendy. I knew it was BS then, and it's been proven that it's BS now. And to treat her like a bro, like, oh my gosh. How demoralizing is that? He still says that the spark just wasn't there for him and he imagined things being completely different. Again, the whole room is like, well, you could have just communicated that. He claims that it was very overwhelming and he was just too scared to have that hard conversation. Then I don't think you were ready for marriage. If you're unable to make your intentions clear, if you're unable to have those hard conversations, if you're going to be debilitated by fear instead of just facing whatever it is that you need to face, you're not ready. I'm sorry, you're not ready. And although I'm fresh on the scene, I'm not going to act like I'm no pro or anything. But like my husband and I have conversations where it's like, I know this might hurt your feelings, but this also needs to be said. And it goes both ways. And I appreciate that. And I feel safe enough to do that and to receive what he is saying because of the love that's been established. Like, because I love you, I have to be honest. Like, I owe you the honesty. So yeah, if you weren't ready for that, then you gotta go. Last is Constantine and Jesse. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because they were separated on the couch the entire episode, I was thinking, damn, maybe they aren't together, but they were able to be put back together. And I was thinking the producers are so brutal because imagine I can't even get to touch the love of my life so that you guys can produce a damn show. Ooh, I would be pissed off. But anyways, during their first year of marriage, they have done a lot of partying. They've taken up golfing. Constantine is now the cleaner of the home and he has moved down to where she's at so that they can live on the countryside. He says that he actually does appreciate the peace and the tranquility and being close to family. Like this slow-paced life is something that he savored more than he thought he would. Then things take a turn. Well, not a turn, but things get a little bit heavy when they talk about what happened to, why am I getting chills? Oh my gosh. They talk about what happened 2 months into them being married. Constantine got a call from his doctor and they told him that the tumor had returned. And so this was very rough for them. He wasn't in fear that his life was going to end. Like he didn't think his life was in danger, but he did know whatever route he was going to choose was going to lead to a long road of recovery, right? So either it was going to be radiation or to go through surgery. They decided that surgery would be best. And even just a few weeks ago, he was in the intensive care unit. And he's like, honestly, I was able to go through this because of Jesse. Like she is my rock. She's my support system. The girl is in tears. I felt so bad for the girl, but like she has been his support system and he's eternally grateful for that. I'm debating if I should say whatever. I've already started. Adversity really does bring couples together. Guys, when I tell you every weapon formed against my marriage almost prospered. Every weapon almost prospered and there were so many damn weapons, but honestly, it did make us stronger. And then after we crossed the threshold of marriage, we went through a miscarriage. Sad, I know. We went through a miscarriage and honestly, like if you're not with the right person, something like that could break you. it really could break you. But the way this man was like, I'm not with you for things. I'm with you for you. I'm with you because I love you and I'm going to support you no matter what we're going through. And I hope he knows it goes right back to him. So to see these two just have that like undeniable, unwavering support and love and care and everything, just, oh, love to see it. I love to see it. But yeah, that's it. Sorry for the, I probably should have put a trigger warning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to get it out, you know? Anyways, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And guys, please don't make it sad in the comments. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Oh yeah. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.